Were you a father at the time by any chance?
Yeah, I have two lovely kids.
Yeah.
They made me breakfast this morning and then they conked out, didn't see them for lunch or dinner, so I had to go out and get that myself.
Oh, wow. What did you get? Some spicy doubles?
No doubles on a Sunday. Just had the regular callaloo and normal Sunday lunch for Trinidad, but it was good nevertheless. I wouldn't trust my kids to make that one.
Oh, geez. Wow, you're throwing your kids under the bus on live TV. That's crazy, Brent. But thank you for joining us, and we are looking forward to your analysis and your input going forward into the show. We must take a look, though, benefiting on the fact that today is Father's Day. Let's just give you some insight into the father-son duos that are at the World Cup. We have this graphic produced for you so you can get that information, and some of them might surprise you. So here we have, of course, the great man, the legend, Zinedine Zidane and his son. You have Pablo Paz, Nico Paz, that's the Argentinian that plays for Como in Italy. Of course, the Haaland duo, very well known. I'm sure Alfie Inges just budding with pride seeing his son get a goal on his debut. Lee Yu-young and Lee Tae-suk. Yeah, another father and son. Of course, we had Zinedine Zidane and his son Luka, who had the privilege of being scored upon by the GOAT, Lionel Messi, 3 times. And of course, Claudio Reyna and his son Gio Reyna, who plays for the USA, as you can see. Diego Simeone and his son Giuliano. Wow, Father's Day bringing out all the fields. Patrick Kluivert and his son Justin. Justin plays for Bournemouth, of course. Patrick Kluivert, a legend in football. He can enjoy that. Greg Berhalter, his son Sebastian, representing the Star-Spangled Banner. Goran Sorloth and his son Alexander. I wonder if Goran and Alf are having drinks and enjoying their sons playing for Norway. Sergio Conceição and Francisco Conceição. And yeah, Thornsveit with Christian Thornsveit. And we have Brian Gunn and his son Angus Gunn. And of course, how can we not mention the great man Lilian Thuram and his son Marcus? I know Lilian probably wanted or expected from in many people's opinions that both his sons were deserving of a World Cup place. That is other son Kefren Thuram, who plays for Juventus, and he has played against his brother quite a few times in the Serie A, having his brother at Inter and he's at Juve. So, happy Father's Day again. Let's get right into it. But first, before we get into our discussions, listen, on Fan Central Extra Time, we always have gifts. And of course, I come bearing gifts. So, we're going to ask you, as usual, our fan question, and you have a chance to win this lovely package from our good friends over there at Pepsi. And we'll be informing you on what that question is in due time. But before that, let's just get into the discussions, shall we? Starting with the results from earlier today. Packed day of football. Here we have Spain defeating Saudi Arabia 4-0. And of course, Belgium disappointing me as well as the other Red Devils fans, drawing 0-0 with Iran. And Uruguay with that 2-2 draw against Cabo Verde. And then the match many of you would be tuning in from is Egypt and Mo Salah getting that 3-1 victory over Chris Wood and the Kiwis. So let's just have our preliminary discussions now, beginning with you, Coach Ferguson. Lamine Yamal came to the party today. He was nursing an injury in that first game. Came on as a substitute. Was impressive nonetheless. But today he was at his near best. But the entire Spain squad was up for it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think if you look at the overall team today from Spain, not a lot changes in terms of how they approach the game from the last one against Camaverde. But I think the personnel changes that the coach made really impacted the result. In the last game, he had Torres and Gavi on the sides. Those are not natural wingers. Today he started Baena and Yamal, which naturally gives you that width and that space to play, which they utilize well in the game. And I think Saudi, they came, the plan was to try and press Spain in the middle to the defensive lower third, which for me was not the best coordinated press. Spain had them all over the place, and before the half an hour, they were 3-0 down, game over.
Yeah, Brent, of course, night and day between Ferran Torres and Gavi on the wings, and Alex Baena and Lamine Yamal. Just make reference to Dani Olmo as well, who came in for Fabian Ruiz in midfield. How much of his contribution led to the Spanish demolition today of Saudi?
I think the fluency that we saw from the Spanish as well, you have to give credit to the wing backs. They contributed significantly in being able to get forward in Cucurella and Pedro Porro. I really think that when Orizabal up front is up for it, he is a handful. And I think he allowed the likes of Lamine Yamal to get into those 1v1 and isolated situations. And you have to pace, as you actually mentioned, Dani Olmo and Rodri. I think they as well provided that fulcrum in the middle of the park to allow Spain to be expressive. It was an explosive and dominant performance by the Spaniards, and I think that's the performance everybody expected from them coming into the World Cup, and it certainly has laid a marker down. And you're right to say that the Spanish has finally joined the party.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, of course, you mentioned Oyarzabal. He was brilliant today, and it seemed like coach just decided that, all right, you guys are off. You can rest up for the next game. And yes, the Spaniards are flying high, and we'll hear from a flying Spaniard soon, later down in the show. Let's get into the next game, though, because... I'm going to ask my producer, is it fine if we skip the next game? Okay, all right, let's get into it then. I don't want to get all emotional, Coach Ferguson. Belgium, unfortunately, shared the points with Iran. Iran was impressive, Coach Ferguson. Belgium wasn't really up for it, I think, in my estimation. But credit must be given to Iran. I mean, the stats are there. Belgian domination in terms of monopolizing possession and also, getting shots off and so on. But no dice in the end, Coach, for Belgium.
Yeah, I think Belgium, for me, started a little bit better this game than they started the last game because they had a little bit more dynamism today. But they still lack runners in behind. They lack people who can threaten in behind. Iran defended deep. They had numbers. I think they committed more numbers back today, hence their transitional threat, which they're normally very good at. Wasn't really effective today because the distance that they had to travel when they do recover the ball from Belgium was a little bit too far to really make an impact. But as a Belgian fan, I think you guys are going through a period of transition. The golden generation is now behind, and they are searching for another generation to come.
See, Coach, I just don't know how to react to that. It seems like you're rubbing it in. Brent, is he rubbing it in, or is it that Belgium just actually, the best they've seen better days, and this is just the state of the team thus far? How did you see the game?
I think it's worrying from a Belgian perspective. I mean, without Jeremy Doku, they look very one-dimensional. Of course, Doku, the type of player that is very good in 1v1 situations and run at players and take them on. But without that threat, they look very flat, very ordinary. I think Lukaku up front lacked the mobility to really threaten the Iranian defense. And as much as Kevin De Bruyne huffed and puffed, that linkage between the midfield and the front line just wasn't there. And if you are a Belgium fan, you would be worried. That's 2 games now, and you could probably go back to the last World Cup as well, where they seem to just not get things going. And when a do-or-die game coming up, you would be very foolish to put your house on Belgium.
Well, Brent, I know one thing for sure. I'm not doing that. I mean, I love the team. I love KDB. He's the best midfielder I've ever seen. But I'm not willing to go that far. Jeremy Doku, of course, missed out due to some illness. It's not linked to the reports about him leaving for the birth of his child. But if he still plans to, I mean, if he did plan to, after watching that game and him not being out there in Belgium looking the way they looked, he might just have to call wifey on Zoom because we need you, man. We need you. Anyway, let's move on from that disaster and go to the other game between Uruguay and Cabo Verde. I'm going to start with you here, Brent, because, you know, I know you have a lot of time for Fede Valverde, but from Uruguay's perspective, coach, was it, you know, passenger stuff or did they underestimate Cabo Verde? And I think that would be shocking given what they did to Spain.
I think that would be shocking if they did that as well, and I think they didn't. I think Cabo Verde did give as good as they get, and as much as Uruguay had put a lot more energy and emphasis in the game, you just have to take your hats off to Cape Verde. They weren't just a team that was sitting in a low block and hoping for the best. They actually gave as good as they got. They showed some good technical capacity in their individual play. They were extremely good defensively. They ran, they fought, they harried, they won second balls. It's everything you would want, a coach's dream. If you're looking at Cape Verde, they battled against opponents that are at a higher caliber than they are. And it's because there's a lot of belief in that locker room. And now you're going into two games where they have shown that they're more than worthy of being here. And certainly the ones that came to the party. And as much as I know we're discussing Uruguay, it's difficult to even have a conversation about Uruguay without mentioning how great Cape Verde performed today. Yeah,
Coach Ferguson, I mean, it seems like the Davids are really standing up to Goliath in this World Cup. From a Cape Verde perspective, though, Brent just alluded to it, them being brave, them not just sitting in a low block and hoping for the best going forward. What can you say about this Cape Verde team and what they bring to the table? Why are they so hard to beat? I know we're going to dissect it in the playbook, but just give us your initial thoughts.
They're a very serious team. That's the first thing I'll say about it. When you watch them against Spain, their out of possession concepts were very good. They defended low very good. And their transitional game is also very good because they have players who not only have the ball but want the ball. They have that confidence that they want to play with. And as Brent said, they're not trying to just kick the ball up the field. What they're trying to do is to play behind that line that was pressing them or was attacking them. So they have that comfort to come out the zone. But earlier to your first point that you made, for me, as I said on countless occasions, I think the gap in world football is really decreasing between nations because the knowledge that some of the bigger nations usually have or have a monopoly on, I think that knowledge now through coach education and through the technologies and stuff, the information age, I think people are now more aware of all the nuances of the game and coaches are getting better, players are being developed better. So I think the best practices are being shared all over the world.
Yeah, and that's coming from a coach, by the way, that has used Kimoni Bailey as an inverted fullback in the Premier League, right? And if you watch Mount Pleasant, you know what they do with their fullbacks. Quite modern. But quickly, Coach Ferguson, I just want to ask you about Uruguay and what they do, what they try to do to teams. Of course, Marcelo Bielsa is known to press teams into the ground. And as you said, they were able to bait the press and play through that pressure. Is that what you're referencing in terms of the knowledge base and the gap closing as it relates to the big boys and the lower teams?
Yeah, most definitely. I think Bielsa is, for us, a genius. He's that type of person. But I think his approach in today's game was a little bit, for me, could have been different. When you play against a team like Cape Verde who sit in that low block and they defend the inside spaces well. They defend the outside spaces rather well also. I think you need a little bit more creativity, a little bit more personnel in between that line and in those pockets. And I think they never had that today, and I think that kind of helped the result not to go in their way. But I think Cape Verde deserve a lot of credit for how they played. But I think Uruguay is also a team who, for me, they are basically that team that can cause trouble to the bigger teams, not necessarily the lesser teams.
Interesting. Marcelo Bielsa, you might want to get off the cooler and probably rethink a little bit. And benching Darwin Núñez was interesting as well. Let's get to Egypt against the Kiwis, Brent. I mean, wow, if Arne Slot thought that Mo Salah was finished, I don't know what to say to him, because he looked a hungry player out there, Brent. How did you see that Egypt game against the Kiwis, New Zealand?
Yeah, he certainly was in top form today, Mo Salah, as expected. When you represent a country and you have that armband on, he led from the front. I think he certainly dragged them across the line in this one, and Egypt certainly was good value for money. It was not a straightforward game. The Kiwis certainly didn't lay down and allow Egypt to have their way, but I think the movement and the general application from the Egyptians is what got them the win at the end of the day. New Zealand, which a bit surprising, was poor on set plays. They're normally a team that's quite strong in that area, but that didn't happen for them. But all in all, I think Mo Salah's performance throughout that game, obviously he came off quite late in the fixture, was very creditable, and obviously one of the reasons why Egypt walked away with 3 points.
Yeah, Coach Ferguson, Egypt getting a massive 3 points in a group where they weren't really expected to be at top. What can you say about Egypt and their approach? I mean, Salah and Marmoush have really led the line well for Egypt, but I mean, did you see this coming from them?
Probably not the scoreline. First half, I think they were not really aggressive as how they could be with the players that they have in the lineup. I think Ashore was a player who I believe in the first half was a little bit conservative. In the second half, he was allowed to move a lot more over the pitch, and they started to link the play a lot. Their wide triangles started to come in the game, and they started to be a little bit more dynamic, a lot more rotations, and I think they got into some good areas. The second goal, though, for the 2-1, the go-ahead, was a moment. New Zealand were down to 10 players. They restarted the game and they had a moment and they got the go-ahead goal. So in these tournaments, the small margin counts, and that's just it.
Yeah, the smallest of margins. And speaking of margins, I mean, I'll save it till after the break because we must go to a break. So when we come back, we're going to go to my favorite segment, which is the playbook. And I'm sure Coach Ferguson has a lot to break down when it comes to the teams that were on show today. Stay with us here on Fan Central Extra Time. We'll be right back. Don't move a muscle.
Me carry real bad team, not a illy-billy. No bandwagon to the thing, no bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty-gritty. School silly billy. No bother tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game sweet, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV for everybody.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer. Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than
Game sweet, girl, I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV, for everybody.
Like a jet plane, headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jodie Ann Quarry.
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a guan?
What a guan?
That's a go on, pa.
What a guan? What a guan? What a guan? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a guan, what a guan?
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. No bandwagon to the thing, no bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy. No bother tell me about your team and them no make the semi. Game sweet, girl, I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV,
for the Team of World Cup part 48. And it's been reported prior to the USA's opening game, they had to put on Fox Sports a special report to inform the great American public, the good old soccer fans, that Lionel Messi will not feature for the USA tonight. Although he is an Inter Miami player, his national team is in fact Argentina, and he isn't eligible to play for the USA. I'm led to believe that the USA fans are now asking Inter Miami if they can just loan him to them for the tournament. And before anyone says, we're not stupid enough to think that.
Wait, where's Messi? Isn't Messi with us? Isn't he with America now? Didn't he join Miami or something like that? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Americans that, refer to the beautiful game as soccer, it seems like here on Fan Central Extra Time, we've been targeting them for way too long, Coach Ferguson. And you know what? We have a large following over there. So we hope all our soccer fans who love football and think that, Messi plays for the USA, he doesn't. Anyway, he plays for Argentina. Let's get into the playbook now, my favorite segment. This is where we break down the tactics of all these teams. We're going to begin with Spain against Saudi Arabia. Coach, go ahead and take us through this one.
All right, so the first thing I want to look at is the changes that the coach would have made. I think he gave his team the best opportunity to win the game from the start. So Bahina came in here, Yamal, Almo, and Poro. What they tried to do in the game, which is quite natural for them, is to put these players in between the lines, in between those spaces. And then we have Pedri also operating between the line. And then we have we have Poro inside, and we have Yamal outside, Cucurella also keeping the width, and these players behind the ball for circulation and the rest defense. But key for them though in this moment is when the ball goes to either one of the wide players who are holding the width, what Saudi does is they move with the ball to compact the zone in a way to create that compactness. But what Spain does well is to have these players drop out, circulate, and now they try to get the advantage on the opposite side to have people like Yamal go 1v1 against the fullback and to create chances in that space. So I think they were very deliberate about it. I think if you look also on the Saudi team, when they do get in that compact zone, That's the area that they cover, and they would leave, in my mind, this red area here as a very dangerous area for people like Yamal to operate in.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Porro going inside and occupying the inside, having Lamine Yamal get that 1v1 opportunity. And on the other side, Cucurella was the one holding the width, and Alex Baena inverting as an inside forward. How delicate is that balance when it comes to the defending aspect for Saudi Arabia?
Very, very, very difficult for them, because what they approached the game with was try to be man-on-man, and they try to move around with the Spain players. Once you start to do that, you disrupt your defensive shape. One at a time in the game, I looked, they were trying to hold 2 banks of 4, but they were all over the place, very disorganized, because again, if you start to move with the opponent, it disrupts your structure. So I think for them it was not very easy to defend against the Spain team.
Yeah, Brent, your take on the Spanish tactics deployed against Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I think when you look at what was mentioned there by Coach Ferguson, he's spot on. You know, when you play the way that Spain wants to play, it's extremely important to circulate the ball very quickly. I think when you look at the difference in their first game to this game, they were spot on with that. And as I mentioned, Rodri in particular played a pivotal role, as well as Almond, being able to circulate the ball from one side to the next to obviously put them in a situation where they can get into 1v1 situations, particularly with Lamine Yamal. But you have to credit the players as well that obviously gave Spain that opportunity to do that, and that's because they were the movement of the players. And Saudi Arabia did struggle to cope with the movement, the intelligent positions that some of the players had picked up throughout the first half, and it really set that platform for Spain to blow out this very early lead and big lead that they had in the first half.
All right, Brent, on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break and get right back into the analysis. Stick around, it's Fan Central Extra Time. Don't go anywhere.
Represent for your team to the nitty-gritty. School silly billy. Nobody tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game sweet, girl, I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV for everybody.
It's game on at Quartz. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Quartz from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Quartz, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer. Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love Pepsi. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a a guan?
That a guan, pa.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a guan! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a guan, pa. What a guan?
Gonetta fi full up, match link up, fan central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team that a illy billy. Now bandwagon to the thing, now bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy. Now bother tell me about your team and them to make the semi. Game sweet, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV for everybody.
Back to Fan Central Extra Time. Once you see me by the screen, you know what time it is. We have to give you the state of play in the groups after an important match day. So to my left, we'll get right into it. No time to be wasted. Group H, this is how it's shaping up at the top. Spain. The Spanish have been partying again after that 4-0 thrashing of Saudi Arabia. Of course, they are on 4 points. 1 win, 1 draw, still unbeaten. Kudos to the Spaniards, and we're going to hear from one soon. Uruguay, they're in second. They've won the World Cup before. Can they do it again? Not in Coach Ferguson's estimation. They're still sitting pretty though. Marcelo Bielsa has no reason to stress or to send scouts to spy on anybody's training sessions. If you know ball, you get that reference. Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia. Cabo Verde, they are alive. Best third place, they can sneak into the next round. Or could they do a madness and actually defeat Saudi Arabia in the next game and maybe hope for Spain to give Uruguay a shellacking and then take that second spot? Who knows? Cabo Verde is live. So that's the state of play for Group H. Let's take a look at the best third place standings. This is really important, especially for me, seeing that my team might have to, depend on this to get to the next round. Of course, we have Sweden there, Scotland, Paraguay, Cape Verde, Belgium. What are we doing there? DR Congo, Czech Republic, Ecuador, and everybody else on the outside looking in. Of course, quite a few of those teams have only played 1 game, so this will look a bit different come tomorrow. Now, let's get into the meat of the matter. When it comes to the wall of shame or the wall of fame, depending on who's on it, I have been given the awesome responsibility to walk you through my picks. And one thing's for sure, Coach Ferguson, Brent, when I pick, I don't miss. Here's why. In third, Maxi Araujo. Many of you see Maxi Araujo operating on the left-hand side of that Uruguay team. Guess what? This is a fullback. For those who know ball and understand how Sporting CP has used Maxi Araujo in the Portuguese league, he has been a revelation this World Cup. He has been everywhere. He has been getting goals as a fullback for this Uruguay team. That's why he's number 3. He's on the wall of fame, not shame, because Maxi Araujo has the Uruguay women shaking it to the maxi. Maxi Araujo. Anyway, give me number 2. Ali Reza. Ali Reza. He is the goalie for Iran. Listen, this man single-handedly, almost Ali Reza gave me a heart attack. Why? Because he stopped a clear-cut goal. I'm not sure how Maxi de Kuyper did not score that goal, but this man was a man mountain in the goal today for Iran, and trust me, man. Anyway, take him off the screen, because I had to do it. I had to be unbiased. But here's number 1. Here is number 1. I saw you Spain fans cooking him last game, talking about, Alvaro Morata would score this, David Villa would score that. Mikel Oyarzabal led you to a Euro win. How quickly you forget. You know, his name is Mikel Oyarzabal in English, but in Spanish, Mikel Oyarzabal. Listen, Mikel, listen to this now. I'm giving him a name here today on Fan Central Extra Time. Run with this on social media. Mikel, score your ball. Score your ball. Yeah, man. Goal scorer, 2 goals and an assist in 1 half. And coach said, you know what? Come off, my boss. That's it. Nothing more. But There's an honorable mention somewhere in here. Give me my honorable mention. Time, you've heard about the Wall of Fame. The segment is Fame or Shame. His name is Romelu Lukaku. I want to say, Romelu, look at you. Romelu, look at you. Where were you today? You sabotaged our World Cup campaign. Of course, you were decent when you came on as a sub in that first game. But in the second game, you looked unfit. I wonder why you're unfit, Lukaku. Because you've abandoned your Napoli team mid-season and said you're not going back. And then you want to waltz into the World Cup team and give off performances like you did today. Take the teams off, Lukaku. We need you. Wall of Shame. First inductee, Romelu Lukaku. Coach, Brent, give me your feedback on my picks. And you can tell me how correct I am.
Well, I'm not sure if Coach Ferguson is going to start first or he wants me to start, but I'm not sure about some of the footnotes and some of the tags and names. But yeah, I would go with Lukaku. I think for many, especially for Belgium fans, the expectation of what he could have brought to this World Cup and to see the type of performance looked very disinterested, as I mentioned earlier in the show. His lack of mobility certainly showed. It was really a big disappointment, and I think the two aforementioned players as being stars are certainly up there. I mean, some of the saves today in that game was just simply outstanding. There was one, I believe, with an outstretched left hand in the second half, easily one of the saves of the tournament. I might even go as far as to say he could add the last World Cup as well, because it was just the quickness to get across the stretch that left hand is absolutely incredible. So I'm there with you.
Of course you are there with me, Brent. Yeah. You said all of that just to get back around to the fact that my list is accurate. My list is perfectly fine. Is that what you're saying?
I may have thrown a Mo Salah in there, but I'm happy with your picks. I'll go with what you have. I'll go with that.
I thank you, sir. I thank you, sir. Coach Ferguson. Yeah, I know you go agree with me. There's no question about this.
I want to.
You want to?
I agree with 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Tell me the two, coach.
Allarese, the goalkeeper, for sure. Ozaraba, for sure. And Maxi Araujo has done well. Has done really well. But for me, as I said, I would also put Salah in there for his goal and his assist. And what it means for Egypt in terms of the provisions for the next round.
See, I know what this is. Put me on camera. I know what this is, The two fathers are siding with the father, because I'm not sure if Maxi Araujo has kids. So the unks in the place siding with another unk. Not shocking to me. But I think Coach Ferguson's comments are fair. Brent, yours are fair as well. I mean, Mo Salah was brilliant on the day, but again, this is the K list. It's my wall of fame. It's my wall of shame. But you guys didn't give me my feedback on the shame pick, the wall of shame pick. No, Brent, you did. Fergie, take us to the break and critique my wall of shame pick.
Well, personally, I don't have an opinion on Lukaku. For me, he's a professional player. He has done it for a long time, for long periods. He might be having a rough patch now. I know you're a little bit sentimental being a Belgian supporter, but I think as a professional footballer, it's not easy. He has moments. In the last game, he came in and he rescued a point for you guys. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily name him as the player for shame.
See, Coach Ferguson, I respect you. You're a very politically correct man. But if you had to choose somebody really quickly before the break, if you had to choose someone for the wall of shame, who are you picking, Coach, from today? Quickly, wall of shame.
It's difficult. I'm not thinking of anyone.
Mr. Positive over there. Anyway, we're going to a break because Coach Ferguson don't have a negative bone in his body. Stick around. We have someone who has Spanish bones in his body in the fan corner. You're going to want to find out who that is, because we're going to find out if he is an actual Spain fan or he's a pretender. Stick around for the fan corner. We'll be right back.
When the Lala gonna have to full up, match link up fans send.
Welcome to the Pepsi Football Nation.
Rule number 1, it's called football, not soccer.
Rule number 2, they should get rid of VAR.
No. Every decision should go to VAR.
Write this down. Pepsi should be the official drink of the nation.
I love that. They won't agree on anything.
That's where Rule 100 kicks in. Everything gets settled on the pitch. What about you? What rule would you want?
It's game on at Courts. Spend $150,000 on credit purchases or $250,000 on cash at Courts from May 1, 2026 to June 20, 2026 to be automatically entered for a chance to win one of 3 smart TVs to watch the matches in style. First place gets a 98-inch TCL Smart TV. Second place a 55-inch. And third place a 43-inch. Score big and upgrade your game day vibes when you shop at Courts, bringing value home. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jody Ann Quarry.
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a guan? What a guan?
That a guan, pa.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a one! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a guan, pa. What a guan?
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Them a silly billy. Me carry real bad team, not a illy billy. No bandwagon to the thing, no bother switchy. Represent for your team to the nitty gritty. School silly billy. No bother tell me about your team and them no make the semi. Game sweet, girl I call it sugar daddy. CVM TV for everybody.
Welcome back to Fan Central Extra Time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us for those who were here on our broadcast up to this point. And of course, thank you to our sponsors, Pepsi and Mothers, and as well, Just Bet. Reminder, this is brought to you by Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Speaking of fans, you know, I have a very emphatic, a very boisterous Spanish fan to my right, and I'm just going to let him introduce himself. Welcome to Fan Central Extra Time, sir. You are in the fan corner, as the sign behind me says, and we just want to thank you for joining us on a very special day. And I must say to you, sir, Happy Father's Day, because I've done my homework. So I know that, you have a few little ones. So welcome to the show, sir. Introduce yourself.
Oh, and thank you for having me. Let me keep it short. I am Spaniard.
Sir, we need your actual name.
Okay, it's Dale, but I'm Spaniard.
Yeah, this is Dale Gale, a Spanish fan. Of course, he professes to enjoy and to be a connoisseur of all things Spanish, food, language, footballers. I don't think he has a team in La Liga, though. I'm not sure. But we're going to find out about his Spanish knowledge, because we have a bit of trivia for you in a day. It's Fan Central Extra Time, right? So you can have a flag in your lap all you want. You can sport a jersey all you want. But when it comes down to it, how well do you know Spain? We're going to find out. So your first question is, Mr. Spaniard, not Dale, Spaniard. Which country did Spain defeat in the World Cup final in 2010?
That was... Who that was again?
Who that was again? Wait a minute. That was last week, man.
The Dutch.
Who's the Dutch?
Netherlands.
Oh, the Netherlands.
Yeah, Dutch.
All right. Producer, yes, that's correct. We all know that. All right, we're starting it off light for you, sir. We're starting you off light. All right, so here's the thing. Which player was given the Man of the Match award in that final?
In the final?
Yes, sir, in the final.
Ooh. I'm assuming it would have been the goal scorer, Iniesta.
Is that your final answer, sir?
I'll stick with that.
Okay. Well, survey says yes, that's correct. That's also correct. All right, I said I would start you off light, didn't I? All right. Which player has made the most appearances for the Spanish national team?
This one is kind of tricky.
Spain has had some stalwarts, you know.
Sorry.
Nervous.
I know it's between, it would be between, you said caps, right? Caps. All right, this one is tricky. It should be between Raul or Sergio Ramos. One of the two. I would say Raul did about long, but I think it would be Sergio Ramos, because Sergio Ramos started out young and basically ended a few years ago. So Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Okay, not Raul.
Close. It should be close, but Sergio Ramos.
Sound like you know your stuff. Yeah, Sergio Ramos is indeed correct. All right. We're gonna get serious now, sir. Right?
Serious?
No, that was light. Right? So, I'm sticking with that 2010 campaign because it's really important, right? Against which nation did Spain suffer a shock defeat on opening day against?
Yeah, 1-0, Switzerland.
Ooh! You remember that? You remember that off the bat?
Yeah, because that one did it hurt.
That one stung.
Yeah, man,
all right. Let me throw you a curveball now, right? So here's what we're going to do. There was one player who scored in both the Euro 2008 final as well as the 2012 final. Who was that player?
2012 final.
Of course.
And Euro.
Back-to-back European titles. This player scored in both those finals.
Finals?
Yes.
Well, it definitely would have to be between Torres and Villa.
El Nino.
One of them, but
and
I don't.
Guaje.
The thing about it is, I don't think Villa was prominent in 2008, if my memory serves me right.
David Villa not being prominent in the Spanish team.
Well, he was there, but I think Torres was a starter. I don't remember who scored in the final.
Both finals. This man scored in both of the finals. El Nino or El Guaje, as you said. Of course, Torres is El Nino, and El Guaje is. We have time is clicking. 5, 4, 3.
I'm gonna go with Villa.
The man says El Guaje, David Villa. Boy, Spy, you were doing so well. You're doing so well, you know. But you're actually correct. No, congratulations, man. Congratulations. Real Spanish fan. Yeah. Congrats. Those questions were decent. All right, so it's Father's Day, Spanny. You got a gift on Father's Day from your team. 4-0 against Saudi. Were you pleased with the performance? Were you pleased with the changes made by De La Fuente? Talk to me about the game.
Yes, it was very pleasing knowing it was Father's Day. I woke up this morning be kind of fret because you know the World Cup tricky and you know one big team always get knocked.
Yeah, man, I Belgium that man.
Yeah, so I hope it wasn't me and I hope it wasn't on Father's Day.
Yeah.
So I was kind of nervous, but yeah, the boys did what they had to do.
Okay, I'm glad you feel that way. We're going to ask you. You're the European champions.
Yes.
Do you think you're going all the way? And if yes, tell us why.
Well, we're in it. That's the reason why we're there, to win it.
Okay.
That's why we're there.
So you think Lamine Yamal can lead it to even though he's a bit young, because he's the best player. You think he can shoulder
it? He showed it in Euros.
Okay. As a teenager, fair.
As a teenager, yeah. Why not again?
Okay. I just want to ask you this though, Dale. It's Father's Day.
Yes.
I know you're a very passionate father, judging by our discussions leading on to, coming on to set. You had mentioned that you have a track club that you have actually named after your daughter, I believe.
Yes. Well,
tell me a little bit about that on the Father's Day here.
Well, yes. The track club came about because of her.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So when she started track and field, I realized that, you know, she's talented. So I decided that, you know, to help her further, I'd start, you know, training her a little bit more outside of school. And I invited some of her friends to train with us. And, you know, my wife then decided, you know, we had some conversation and she was like, you know, you should start something because it started bearing fruits from early. And we just decided that, you know, we'll invite some more people and start a club. And the rest is history. We named the club after, well, it's the name of the club is MEG Track Club. So it's Mentoring Athletic Goals. But there's a catch to it because it was named after the children. So it's Madison, Azael, Gale.
MAG.
MAG.
Mag Track Club. Wow.
Right, so Mag Track Club, yes.
What a story, what a story.
Yes.
Hey, and I'm sure you had mentioned something about Gibson really quickly because we're running out of time. You had mentioned that you used to carry your daughter to Gibson relays and then you lived to see her actually participate at the Gibson relays.
Yes, so that happened last year, you know, carrying her to Gibson from she was a baby. You know, because I'm a lover of track and field. Well, I coach track and field now.
Okay.
So I took her then, and to see 8 years after, I was in the stands watching her run at Gibson.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you heard it here from Father Spanny. I'm sure Madison is probably, that's her name, right? I
yes,
believe?
Madison, yes.
Yeah, big up Madison.
Yeah, she's sleeping now.
She's what?
She should be sleeping now.
Should be. Wow, you'd expect that. Of course, congratulations on that, sir.
Yes.
And of course, she's a Spain fan as well.
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
Cool. All right, so let's discuss some hot topics now on social media. This is where we get a bit creative and a bit more loose when it comes to our discussions and relaxed. Let's have a discussion about the badges, the flags at the World Cup, actually. Let's see what our producer has set apart for us to digest.
Have you ever noticed this? Every country's flag at the World Cup is laid on the pitch, except one, Saudi Arabia. But why? Before World Cup matches, there's a ceremony. Huge national flags are carried onto the field and laid flat on the grass. But if you look closely, Saudi Arabia's flag is always different. It's never placed on the ground. Instead, it's held up. And the reason is actually deeper than football. Saudi Arabia's flag contains the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. For Muslims, those words are sacred. That's why Saudi law treats the flag differently. It can't be lowered at half-mast, and it should never touch the ground. Even back in 2002, Saudi Arabia protested when FIFA used its flag design on football merchandise because kicking it was seen as disrespectful. So in tournaments like the FIFA World Cup, FIFA respects that tradition. That's why while every other flag is spread across the pitch, Saudi Arabia's stays in the air. Not because it's special in football, but because it's sacred beyond it.
Hey, don't you dare kick this Saudi Arabia flag, whether it be on a football, whether it be on any sort of ball. It seems like they really take their thing serious there.
Yeah, like I take my Spain flag serious.
Producer, who allowed him? Who allowed this? Who allowed? Yeah, we have to talk about that off the set because you know what I want to ask you? You have a Jamaica flag?
Yes, but Jamaica is not at the World Cup, so.
So you're saying if Jamaica was at the World Cup, you would come into this studio with a Jamaica flag?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not? Because you're a Spaniard.
I'm a Spaniard.
Coach Ferguson.
Yes.
Coach Ferguson, you hearing this, young man? You hearing this? No, but the take on the Saudi Arabia flag, Coach, how does that one take you?
My personal position is it's a good gesture by FIFA. we say football is a global game, and if it's a global game, we have to respect culture, traditions, and religions, because I think these play a significant role in national symbols for countries. So it's a good gesture by FIFA.
All right, Brent, any take?
And another exciting day of World Cup. I think for me, some of the individual play, I was quite happy to see the Spaniards back in full throttle, and that was my takeaway today. Not because my good friend is on studio, but you always like to see the top teams playing at a top level. So my takeaway today was the Spaniards, and of course our good friends from Cape Verde.
All right, Cape Verde getting big up. Is it for the reason I'm thinking, Brent? Because Cape Verde has been really taking social media by storm, you know, because
you could add that to the factor. It certainly does. Hey, it certainly does help.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I don't know if my dear my sweetheart watching this, but I might be in trouble. Anyway, let's take a look at this this clip that we prepared. This one should be interesting, so I'm not even going to tease it. Let's go right into it.
The government forced everybody to close their shops and not make money, so that FIFA people buy from FIFA.
Oh, that's why it's closed.
That's why they're protesting. Yeah, that's
Wait, so they make them close all the businesses?
Yes, so that FIFA makes money.
So no one buys from them?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
But there's no alcohol.
So that's why they protested. No sabía eso, pero no sabía
Sí,
eso.
los maestros, los farmers todos están protestando porque forzaron a todos cerraron su negocio para que la FIFA, para ganar. Sí, ¿tú crees?
Eso es abuso, bro. Eso es abuso.
Protestando.
Now makes sense, guys, why they protesting. Before I was thinking, why no one is selling beers here? Why there's no every stand like street sellers? That's against the free market. Mexico without cars and without people.
Wow. Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, I can't imagine if the greatest show on earth comes to Jamaica, which I believe the Women's World Cup may be coming here. The local retailers or the salesmen and saleswomen have their vuvuzelas, you know, they have their scarves, and they're being run out by FIFA and being prevented from selling their wares, Dave.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Imagine you come a World Cup and you soupy down outside.
Soupy? You can't buy a can, FIFA? You don't understand this thing, you know. Brent, can you imagine the World Cup comes to TNT and they say, oh, no doubles, you know, no doubles and bacon. What do you have over there in Trinidad again? What's the other one? Bacon shark.
Bacon shark.
Bacon shark. Yeah. Can you imagine that, Brent?
I wouldn't put anything past the World Cup organizers and anything they do. And a couple of the games, they did have their food setups there, but most of the food was from the sponsors within the concession. So they know how to make their money. And that's why they're probably shutting out any local entity involved in it. They certainly know how to make their money. They had drinks there for $35 US, so you can imagine.
Oh, that was at the England-Croatia game that you went to, right, Brent?
Yeah, both that game and the Brazil-Morocco game. In the fan zone as well. The prices were extortionate, as you would expect.
Yeah. Extortionate for us, Brent, or for you? Because they don't know, so your tax bracket kind of...
For all human beings.
That's a good one, Brent. Coach Ferguson, I mean, how are you going to squeeze out the little man? How are you going to squeeze out the little man in a way like that, Coach?
Not in agreement with it for sure. We all know that FIFA have their commercial obligations that they must meet. But I think an event like the World Cup, it has to be a win or a success for everyone. So I think local businesses should benefit. So FIFA, the organizers of the World Cup, has to find a way to balance both their commercial obligations and having the local cities or the local people benefiting.
All right. Thank you, Coach Ferguson. I wonder if the players just decide to boycott not even the players, but even the fans decide to protest against the cooling breaks. These unwarranted cooling breaks, just because you want to run a few ads, FIFA. Yeah. Come on now. Come on. This isn't the NBA, this isn't the NFL. But the game has been split into 4 quarters now. Dale, we're out of time. We're going to give you a chance to win this basket, sir. Seeing that it's No. And by the way, I should have corrected you. My apologies. But it was indeed Fernando Torres, not David Villa. I made a blunder. But that's because, you know, my brain is all scattered after that Belgium performance. And watching Lukaku in the Timberlands. All right, so here's the question, Dave. For all these goodies here that you can go home and enjoy on Father's Day, if you have time left. Which game of this World Cup was the 1000th game in its history? See if you were listening.
That was played today?
Nope.
I don't know.
The 1000th World Cup game in history.
I'd prefer if you ask me a Spain question.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir. I have to ask you that one. Maybe Spain played in it. All right, you know what? Since it's a toughie, I'm going to give you a hint. With what credibility I have left. It was played before the Spain game. That's the best I can do for you, sir.
Before the Spain game?
Yes.
Yesterday.
Hear that theme music? That means your time is running out, sir.
Yeah.
It was played before España.
But we were the first game today, so that means... Who played yesterday again?
I can't. Hey, man, listen. You know, we just might...
We win the basket already, so you can just tell me the answer for that one.
No, you don't win it yet. Just give an answer, sir. Give an answer. Because we're going to extend it to social media anyway.
I'm just going to say Spain.
Can we confiscate?
Was it Japan?
Are we accepting that answer, producer? He says it's a Japan game. Japan has played 2 games already. We're really running out of time, sir. Japan has played 2 games. Select one.
Japan, Croatia.
Tunisia.
Japan, Croatia.
No, Tunisia. Sorry, Tunisia.
Tunisia?
Yeah.
Listen, my producer is a very hard man to please. Are we accepting that?
You win it.
Are we accepting that answer? Yay or nay? Don't leave it up to me, you know. I am a bitter Belgium fan over here. I'm a bitter Belgium fan right here, and I don't want to give anybody anything. Are we accepting that, producer? Yeah, man, it sounds like we're accepting that. So the answer is Japan, Tunisia. So here you go, Spanny. Happy Father's Day, man. Take your things, man.
Thank you.
Take your things, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in studio. Dale, just give us a final comment going on.
Just stick to the right team. Spanish power.
Spanish power. All right, Brent, you want to chime in your last thoughts as we go?
Now looking forward to another fun action-packed day. You know, people talk so much about the 48 teams and the World Cup possibly being watered down, but it has been far from that, hasn't it? And you know, credit to the teams, as Coach Ferguson said, the gap has certainly closed, and for us, the neutral viewers, it has been exciting stuff.
Agreed. Coach Fergie.
Yes, another fascinating day of action. The story of Cabo Verde continues. Their impressive results continue. For me, I'm not a Spain supporter, so let me put this out there. But I have Spain in my top 3 as one of the nations challenging for the World Cup. And I think the performance today is going into that direction. It's pleasing to see them today in terms of what they did.
Yeah, you see you're over there so calm, coach. Your day is coming tomorrow, yeah? So I hope you don't end up like me. Anyway, for those on social media, we have a lot of, you know, giveaways and things that we do over there. Let's just give you some information about how you can get in on the action. As you see on the screen, Fan Central Extra Time. Do you think you know football? Well, chime in. There's a number on the screen on WhatsApp, 876-833-0897. Send your videos, share your opinions, answer fun football questions. And guess what? If you want to be in studio with the likes of Coach Davian Ferguson, myself, Coach Jermaine Thomas, Rashida, Jordan Ford, you name it, all you have to do is reach out and we can get you in studio. Just like this Spain fan over here with his flag. Wow, show that flag one more time on screen, because I mean, this is what the World Cup is about. So, hey! Keep that. No, I'm good. I'm good. Alright, I'll allow it. I hope Kevin De Bruyne is not watching this. Anyway, we're out. That's it for the show. Same time, let's get the fixtures for tomorrow real quickly because we have to inform you about what's coming up. So the games for tomorrow include Coach Ferguson's. Oh, I'm not going to spoil it. And put you on Front Street. Argentina, Lionel Messi and Argentina, they take on Marcel Sabitzer and Austria, followed by Mbappe taking on the Iraq team. Looking quite impressive were Iraq. Undone by Norway in the end. Norway, they take on Senegal. Haaland against Nicholas Jackson. No, pardon me. Haaland against Sadio Mane. And we have the Jordan team going up against Algeria in a battle of Mama Africa. That's on the menu for tomorrow's World Cup action. Yeah, my producer is asking me if Jordan is Africa. I believe so. I've been making mistakes all night. Anyway, that's it for the night. Thank you for tuning in on Fan Central Extra Time. Hope you had a good time. And remember, Fan Central Extra Time is sponsored by Pepsi. It is sponsored by Mothers. And as usual, Just Bet. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same face. And we have more discussions to come. Bye-bye. Happy Father's Day. That's a wrap.
When the Lala Gonetta fi full up, match link up, Fan Central full up. Me team win, every bad cover lift up. Them a silly billy, me carry real bad team that a illy billy. No bandwagon to the thing, no bother switchy. Represent fi.
Fan Central Extra Time was brought to you by Pepsi Football Nation, where fans make the rules. Football, better with Pepsi. We also want to thank Courts, bringing value home. Mothers, love in every bite. And Just Bet Goal Rush. Watch all the games on the biggest screens in the Caribbean.